We hear all this talk about AI in the workplace, but it can all feel, well, a little abstract, right? Like, how do I actually use this thing? What if there was a real, practical roadmap, not just for working faster, but for working smarter? Well, that's exactly what we're diving into today. Dr. Vernette Grant's framework for mastering a tool you've probably heard a lot about, Copilot. And our guide on this journey is Dr. Vernette Grant. She's a consultant and educator who's basically taken all the complex, techie stuff about AI and boiled it down to a super practical path for the rest of us. And I love how she frames it. The goal here isn't just about learning a flashy new tool. No, it's about something much bigger, accelerating the stuff that really matters. The research, the writing, the strategy. Okay, so let's get right to it and start at the beginning. What is this AI assistant that Dr. Grant's framework is all about? And maybe more importantly, where does it actually, live in our day-to-day work? So at its heart, Copilot is your AI-powered productivity assistant. But here's the key thing that Dr. Grant really hammers home. Notice that word enhance. This is super important. It's not here to replace you or your skills. It's designed to be a partner, to augment what you already do. And it's running on some serious tech, GPT-4 Turbo, which is one of the most powerful language models out there. The whole idea is to make you even better. And this is probably the best part. You don't have to go learn some brand new, clunky piece of software. That's not how this works. The real magic of Copilot is that it's already built into the places you spend your time. We're talking Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, Teams, it's even in Windows itself. It's not another destination, it's just there, ready to help, right where the work gets done. All right, so we know what it is and where it lives. Now for the big question, what does it actually do? Dr. Grant breaks it down really nicely into a core toolkit, basically 4 fundamental things you can do with it. First up is write, and this is exactly what it sounds like. It helps you draft anything from a tricky email to a full report. It's a fantastic way to beat that dreaded blank page syndrome. Next, analyze. This is a game changer for anyone who deals with spreadsheets. Instead of wrestling with formulas, you can just ask it in plain English to find trends in your data, make a chart, you name it. It turns numbers into stories. Then there's present. This one is pretty mind-blowing. You can literally feed it a Word doc or a simple outline and tell it to create a PowerPoint presentation. It'll generate slides, text, the whole shebang. Huge time saver. And finally, automate. This one's a big bucket. Think about summarizing a 2-hour meeting you missed in Teams or sorting through a massive email chain. For the coders out there, it can even write and suggest code. It's all about handling the tedious stuff for you. Okay, so once you get the hang of those 4 basic actions, this is where things get really interesting. You start weaving them together to tackle much bigger, more strategic work. We're moving beyond just simple tasks now and into some seriously high-value stuff. And here's what that advanced workflow looks like, broken down into 3 steps. First, you use Copilot to do the heavy lifting on research, gathering and sifting through information. Then, step 2, you have it summarize all that complexity down to the core insights. And finally, you use those insights to build your actual strategic document, getting help with the logic, the clarity, even the writing style. But hold on, because just knowing how to use the buttons isn't enough. Dr. Grant makes a really critical point here. To truly achieve mastery, you have to use this tool responsibly. And this isn't some afterthought or a little footnote. It is a fundamental piece of her entire framework. And this is her framework for responsible use. It's built on 3 pillars: prompt, automate, and verify. Prompt is simple. The better your questions, the better the AI's answers. Automate is about plugging it into your bigger workflows to save even more time. But honestly, verify might be the most important one. It's that constant reminder that a human, that's you, is still in charge. You have to check the work for accuracy and make sure everything is secure. So how do you actually prove you've mastered this? Dr. Grant's answer is brilliant because it's so tangible. It's not about passing a test or just knowing the theory. It's about having something to show for it, building a real portfolio of your work. And these are the kinds of things that go into that portfolio. We're talking about real deliverables, a professionally written document, a sharp data report that uncovers real insights, or a compelling presentation. What you're doing is creating concrete proof that you have a powerful and very valuable new skill. So there it is, Dr. Grant's complete roadmap, taking you from the very basics all the way to true expertise. We've looked at what Copilot is, what it can do, and, crucially, how to use it responsibly and strategically. It's a clear path forward. So the only thing left to ask is that final, big question. Now that you have the framework, what are you going to build with it?